Hello, friends. This is Experience Fulton, Healthy Aging, a podcast for and about older adults. I'm Ladisa Onilagu. You're invited to experience this wonderful county and the players who are addressing issues facing the fastest growing population. We're all aging, so why not do it in the healthiest and most engaged way possible? So welcome, and let's get started. Our topic is elder abuse and fraud, and my guest today is Jill Hollander. Jill, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you experience Fulton, and your role here in Fulton County government.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my absolute pleasure to be here and talk about this really important topic that's impacting our community in such a terrible way. I have been in Georgia since 1999, where I came down to attend Emory University School of Law. And I began working in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office in 2002 and have been in Fulton County ever since. Absolutely love it here.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you're here. I tried to find out the oldest case of fraud. Google says it was about 300 BC, some Greek myth. I disagree and can recall a story about two brothers that tricked their dad or defrauded him for a birthright. I'm sure our listeners and viewers can think about older examples of that. But my point is there's nothing new about this topic, but it is very important for our listeners, especially older adults, to be aware of what to look out for. So let's shift it right to you. What case most resonates with you in the elder abuse and fraud arena? And just talk to us about why that sticks out to you the most.
I think the cases that resonate the most with me are the cases that really devastated the lives of the seniors that were unfortunate enough to have that happen to them. One that I can think of is one of the very first cases that we had. Unfortunately, it occurred during COVID. And this particular elder allowed a relative who had lost his job during early stages of the pandemic. She allowed him to move in. And by using her animal, which was a little 8-pound dog that had been left to her by her recently deceased husband, he used that dog to gain control of her.
Wow.
To come into the home, to control her finances, to control her life, just by threatening to either allow the dog out of the house, to bring the dog to animal services, or to remove her from her own home to a retirement home where she would not be able to keep her beloved animal. By the time the fraud was identified, she had lost almost everything.
Oh, no.
And unfortunately, we can never get that back. I cannot get the trust that she lost back. I can't get the money that she lost back. And I think that case, which was one of my very first, really drove home the utter devastation that fraud can have on our community, and especially our aging community.
Yes, because that is the community that's being targeted the most.
Absolutely.
Wow. I have a friend that just wrote an article in World News about a 71-year-old who was targeted by someone impersonating a government employee and asking for this woman to give her cash to protect it because her accounts had allegedly been violated. So just thinking about this story, the case that you just shared, and we cannot recover anything for that person, but for anyone who's listening right now, what are some things that they can do? What are the telltale signs that they should be aware of?
One of the most obvious things that we see, especially when you're dealing with an outside scammer, which is your friend's circumstance, is that these scammers will always try to create a sense of urgency or a sense of emotion, something that's going to require the senior to act right now before they have the chance to think about it. And we have come up with an acronym, which is SAFE, SAFE. And we ask everyone to remember that. And if you can think of those steps, which I'm going to go through
Okay.
in our daily lives, that's going to help someone to stay safe when they're encountering an outside situation.
Safe.
Safe.
All right. What's the S?
The S is stop. So first off, we should never answer a phone call from a phone number that we don't know. Program the important numbers in. Program in your doctor's number. Ask them at your next appointment. If I'm expecting a test, if I'm expecting a follow-up, what phone number is that going to come from? Program it into your phone.
Okay.
When they call, that's going to come up as a trusted number. I can answer it. If they call and it is them and not a scammer, they're going to leave a message and you can call back. But back to safe.
Okay.
My stop. So the first thing, if I answer that phone that I shouldn't have, and I'm speaking to a potential scammer and they are creating a situation that I need to send money, I need to go and do something, I need to give somebody access to something. So we ask people to stop and to think about what people are asking me to do. The A, analyze. Get a piece of paper, write down, what is it that they're asking me to do? Why are they asking me to do it? And what would be the result? So in your friend's situation, they're asking her to give them cash for the reason that her money is at risk.
That's right.
And the person that they're representing themselves to be a government agent. F, speak to a friend or family. Run that by somebody that you trust. Does this sound right to you? Because they've created this urgent situation, which to me sounds like something I need to act on right away. But when I speak to somebody who's outside of that circumstance, they're probably going to be a lot calmer, and they're going to be able to talk you through it in a way that you're going to recognize that that's a scam. If the situation were real, any real government agent, whether it's a federal agency or somebody here representing Fulton County, our sheriff's department, our police department, and certainly the district attorney's office, we will always give you time to verify that we are who we say that we are, and the situation is what we say that it is.
Okay.
So, and then E, exit.
Oh.
Escape. Get out of that situation. Hang up.
Yes.
Don't give them any personal information, your bank account number, your birth date, anything that's going to allow that person to continue to attempt to victimize you. Just escape.
Oh, wonderful acronym. Great way to make that stick for us, because the fear that is created by pretty much all of these scammers is what causes a senior to just act without thinking. So what I'm hearing from you is that just maintain control.
Yes.
Of what is yours and your realm of authority. And this external threat cannot, should not have that authority or that power over you. Okay, so safe. Stop. A, analyze. F, family or friend. E, escape. Take the escape. I love it. Jill, is there anyone else in the country or the state of Georgia doing what the district attorney, Fonnie Willis, and your team are doing in the space of elder abuse, fraud, and this awareness that you're promoting throughout the community?
No. We are the only office in the country, and I dare say the world, that has joined two vulnerable populations, that being animal cruelty and elder abuse. There are tons of studies, there are tons of data that indicate and show the link between crimes against animals and crimes against humans. We think about them commonly with crimes against children, with our intimate partner violence. The data is absolutely well studied and known. But with elder, nobody besides the Fulton DA's office has put those two together and allowed us to see how intertwined they are. And it's really heartening to see that this office is looking out for both of those populations, because a lot of times that animal is what is allowing that senior to maintain the independent lifestyle that they have. And losing that animal or threatening that animal has such a devastating impact.
Wow. Goodness, I would have never thought. I'm pretty sure people listening or watching would not have thought that a companion, a trusted friend, and your family pet, your animal that helps with making sure that you don't feel alone, that could be the one thing used by someone to threaten your safety financially, emotionally, psychologically.
Animals are first. They're the easiest victim, and they're the victim that the people that have companion animals, they're their children. There are more animals in American homes than there are human children, because we have those animals before we are childbearing, when we have our children, and after our kids are long gone and grown.
That's right.
Those animals are there. They are the continuation of our love. When the rest of our family is off working, that animal is home. They are the reason a lot of our seniors get out of bed in the morning and take a walk. They're the reason that they go to the store. They're their socialization. And we have seen that the animals are such vulnerable victims because people perceive that no one will take a threat to an animal seriously.
Yes.
We most certainly do.
That's right.
And Fulton County Animal Services absolutely does, as do our police department. But there's a word for it. It's called coercive control. And the animals are the most available form of control that an abuser can have over a senior. Just by threatening that animal, you can get them to do just about anything.
Oh, wow. This is really good information. Talk to us about the sides and faces of abuse.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It is in every demographic, in every geographic portion of our community. We have run our numbers for the past couple of years. It's something called the NIBRS system, which is maintained by the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. And these are the numbers of crimes that are reported and the types of crimes that are reported. And what we have seen is that elder abuse is just about the same, no matter where in the county you are per capita. Whether it's way north or way south or right in the middle, it doesn't matter. It is absolutely there. And I'm an attorney, don't do math that well. But I think the numbers are that it's just about 1 in 10 Fulton County seniors and seniors nationally can fall victim to elder abuse in any given year. And that's just an unacceptable statistic.
It is. And it makes sense on the criminal side why seniors are being targeted, because they are, again, the fastest growing demographic for some time and will.
And through their hard work, they've got some resources that unfortunately people who have not done a lot of hard work would very much like to get.
Well, let's talk about some resources that would be helpful to seniors, whether it's numbers, nationally, locally, and my hope is that this show, and I know we don't even have enough time to cover all the topics, so I'm probably going to have you back.
We would love to come back.
But we want this to become a part of listeners' and viewers' libraries. So talk about resources and some key things that you want people to take away with them.
Obviously, the most important thing that I want people to take away is safe. To remember that, to tell their friends about that, and to really keep that at the forefront of their mind anytime they encounter an urgent situation that is unexpected. We have flyers, we've got education, but really the big thing that we want to talk about is reporting, and that our seniors are not alone, that we care, that these crimes are not just committed against them, they are committed against the community as a whole, and that we want to help them get out of these abusive situations. We would encourage anyone who is a victim of elder abuse or who suspects elder abuse in a friend, a family member, a neighbor, to call. Adult Protective Services absolutely will investigate these cases. And if they believe that somebody's life is urgently in danger, to 100% call 911. As far as the district attorney's office goes and our resources, Madam DA Fonnie Willis has really gone beyond in encouraging our unit to get out into the community and speak. We would love to come out to any senior centers, churches, temples, religious organizations, lodges, whatever it is that will help get a message out to the community about the current scams that we're seeing and prevention. Our motto is prevention over prosecution. Yes, I am a prosecutor. I have been a prosecutor since 2002, but I would any day of the week rather prevent a crime than I would see somebody in a courtroom prosecuting a crime.
Agreed. That kind of resonates with our focus in senior services. And one resource that I'd like to share with our listeners too is our Star Line, Soaring Through Aging Resources, and that's 404-613-6000. And we have an email address at seniorservices@fultoncountyga.gov. But when you were talking about the motto for the DA's office, prevention over prosecution, the way that we approach healthy aging is preventative, and then intervention, then supportive. But if we can capture seniors and bring them into our programs that prevent cognitive decline or issues with physical health, then that's our goal. So I'm happy to hear you talk about that. Is there one other thing came to my mind before we wrap up, and you've traveled to some of our senior centers with a forum, but there have been some interesting actors who were at the table. Can you talk about who you collaborate with and the different agencies that are very vested in providing this information to seniors?
Absolutely. Like I said, this impacts every community, every portion of the county, everyone. I would unfortunately venture to say that every single one of us in this room and listening to this podcast likely knows somebody, whether they know it or not, who has unfortunately been the victim of elder abuse. And for that reason, the federal authorities, as well as the local authorities, are extremely vested in getting out there and providing seniors the tools to keep themselves safe, keep their communities safe, and unfortunately to report if they are in fact victims. So I have had the absolute pleasure of meeting some amazing Secret Service agents, FBI agents. The United States Attorney's Office has been incredibly involved in a lot of our cases. Our local police departments. Wow. I have worked with every single jurisdiction in Fulton County. Wow. Fulton County Animal Services has been amazingly involved. And of course, the Fulton County government itself has been very supportive, and I hope will continue to be very supportive in allowing the DA's office to continue to get this message out to our citizens.
Excellent. Well, Jill, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm definitely going to have you back. And I know pleasure. That our listeners want to hear more. So again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Experience Fulton Healthy Aging. We hope that this show has been very helpful and has piqued your interest. We encourage you to follow us on our YouTube channel and share this with those that are following you. Stay safe, remember the acronym, and stay tuned for our next show. We look forward to connecting with you soon.